Hey everybody, today we're going to be just jumping straight into the video for what I want to talk about, and that's about the blog post from Friday. Now I know that this is about 2 days old by the time you're watching this, but I think I really want to address this and the outcry surrounding the upcoming event. And in the second half of this video, I want to talk to you guys about the Doom Raid from this patch and how ridiculous it is, and kind of how I feel about the game as a whole as things stand right now. So I think enough is enough. You know, I think that really this upcoming event, the Lunar Festival, which we're going to get at below, really kind of showcases the kind of how I feel about Scopely and how they're kind of treating the player base at the moment. And so let's scroll down and really take a look at exactly what I'm talking about. So, you know, in this blog post, you know, we did get, actually I realized that it's not, everything's not showing here. Let's change to my other scene here really quick. Sorry about that. There we go. So this looks a bit better, and so you can see all the text on the blog post. Now, we're going to skip by the White Tiger stuff, so yeah, there is confirmation here that White Tiger is actually being released as is, as sort of the kit was released to us from the other content creators. We're not going to be going over that in this video there, but, you know, good to know, I guess. So the Lunar Festival, this is really what I want to talk about. So this is the next upcoming event. I assume is going to be coming this coming week, because since it's the blog post, normally that covers the sort of the events of the following week. And really, I want to talk about this well wishes milestone. Now, a lot of people have been going on about this on Reddit, and I think it's frankly quite ridiculous. Spend power cores to hit daily milestones that reward lunar credits along with various other rewards. Now, my understanding is this is kind of like the Showtime currency event to a degree, like we had in December, and I think the buck stops here at this milestone here that involves spending power cores. Now, the last time I remember a power core event probably was something like 2019. I think it was quite some time ago. There was a when promotion credits became a thing. I actually don't remember if it's exactly 2019 or when it was, but when promotion credits became a thing, there was an event where if you donated power cores to your Alliance milestone, that you would actually get some promo credits as a reward in your little treasure box there for the day. Now, that's the last time I remember there being a power core related event. I think this is frankly quite ridiculous that there's going to be a milestone related to that. And going down, we can kind of see that there is going to be lunar orbs. Now, it says use lunar credits to open orange, purple, and blue lunar orbs that reward gears, mega orbs, gold, more. That's fine. So that on a whole is fine. The question is, where else are we getting lunar credits from? It does say here that obviously this well wishes milestone also rewards lunar credits, but it doesn't say how else that we'll be getting. It says earn points. There's like cheerful celebration Alliance milestone. Now this is interesting. So an Alliance-based milestone to open these lunar orbs. So it's not even a solo milestone, it's an Alliance milestone. That is crazy. And it says that it's going to reward G15 minis, Elite 5 credits, and a 5 red star character draft. So I don't exactly know what that means. Maybe there's going to be a set of characters in that. Either way, though, this is an Alliance-based milestone that potentially involves spending power cores to get through the milestone to open these orbs. It doesn't say if there's any other ways to earn these lunar credits. Now, I don't know if this is going to be like the Showtime currency event where you're doing blitzing, if this is another a blitz-based event, you know, where based on how many blitz sim blitz wins you get a certain amount of currency towards opening orbs. It isn't very clear exactly how you're going to be getting that. So I think some more clarity is needed. I don't know if this clarity was presented to us on Reddit or anywhere else, if they've kind of been more clear about how we actually earn these lunar credits beyond the power cores, because if it's just the power cores, that is an all-time low, a brand new low for Scopely in this case, and probably an event that I'm probably going to have to pass. Now, you know, honestly, I normally do events regardless of how ridiculous they are. I did the Covert Ops event, and frankly, that was ridiculous as well. I spent so much time blitzing that I'm just super exhausted for these kind of events. So if this doesn't involve us blitzing, you know, 7 days a week through the Monday blitzes, which normally some of us would take a pass on, I think I might just say no to this event and pass on it, despite there being Gear Tier 15 minis, which I could definitely use towards Dark Dimension 4 for my progress for that. Elite 5 credits, that sounds nice. All these sound really nice, but the question is, at what cost, you know, and what are we going to have to do to get this? Is this going to be simply just power cores? And I'm not, and this is right ahead of a White Tiger campaign event most likely, and so the question is, are we going to want to spend power cores to do this, to get these lunar credits, to open these orbs, to get this 5 red star character draft, whoever's actually going to be included in this. So I think there's a lot of questions to be answered that I haven't seen answered yet, and please correct me in the comments below, you know, if there has been answers to my questions, you know, if I'm getting things wrong here with this event. But frankly, I think that's a bit bonkers, crazy, and I think we really need to address this, because I think that Scopely is kind of taking advantage of us at the player base, you know, in terms of what we're willing to do for events. I think that events have progressively been getting worse and worse and worse, and it's been taking so much of our time. So like I said, if this does include a blitz element, I'm definitely going to have to take a pass on that. I might do it casually, you know, for the Thursday sort of new character blitzes. That's probably the only time that I'm going to do really hard blitzing. I just really need to take time off for the most part between Sunday and, you know, the start of the blitz on Thursday. So I need this time to myself. I just can't be blitzing 6 to 8 rotations every single day like I was for Covert Ops, which was kind of, I think, a little bit of a waste of time for the amount of gear that I got for that. But, you know, that's just me. And while we're on the subject, you know, Mojo's Mayhem Season 3 is coming out, and we are getting Beast. So that is not entirely a surprise. A lot of people were guessing this because Astonishing X-Men, you know, the whole team is coming out now. And instead of giving us a farmable method for Beast, they decided to go for a not really farmable method, aka you can get 45 shards through Mojo's Mayhem, and then you can get an additional 55 shards if you pay for the battle pass. So another way for them to kind of milk the player base for this Astonishing X-Men with Jubilee around the corner. And you know, I really hope that they decide to actually put Beast into a farmable position like they did for Yellow Jacket during Season 2. So maybe we'll see Beast added to the raid store, but you know, frankly, I'm not surprised, but this is quite ridiculous. Beyond that, for this for this blog post, you know, we do have the permanence of Nick Fury coming, and you know, that's really about time. I don't really have much to say about this, but you know, not a lot of people are really going out of their way to farm create minions for Nick Fury, and frankly, it's more than about time for this, and they should really do the same for Star-Lord, and I hope that this comes down the line in the future. Now, saying that, returning is the Star-Lord Legendary event. So sometime down the line, pretty soon, I really hope they decide to actually retire Star-Lord as well, because frankly, he needs it just as much, and I think he's really falling quickly. If he hasn't already, you know, he's really not that useful anymore in the game, in my opinion. And that's really the main things that I did want to talk about. I'm not really going over everything yet. I will be addressing things differently in the patch, like Shadowlands. I'll be talking that in a different video, not in this video here. But I do want to jump back over into the game, and I want to kind of talk to you guys about Doom Raid and why I think this is frankly ridiculous on a similar level to this Lunar Festival event and Mojo's Mayhem Season 3 ridiculousness. So let's jump on over to the game. And so if you guys haven't taken a look on the Doom Raid, really it's one of the most ridiculous things that I've ever seen in my life. So clicking on the, not this one here, if you click view and then you click on the information, you'll see the recommendations for Doom 1 First Strike, aka the Doom Raid. And the recommendations that they have here in my head might be in the way a little bit here. But it is squad level 80, gear tier 14 plus, ability basically 7775, and then 6 red stars plus. ISO class level 3 plus at tier 1, so you know, that's not too difficult to have, but red stars at the 6 plus level. Wow, that's really raising the bar in terms of raids. Now I do understand that this is meant to be for the best of the best, but frankly, I mean, I've been seeing and hearing people are struggling to get through this, even the start of the raid. And let's jump in and let's just look at the notes first before we look at the rewards later, which is actually a load of crap as well. But you know, these characters for and if you guys are unfamiliar with the Doom Raid, it is traded. So you have a bio lane here, which is on the left hand side, and then you have tech on this side, and then mutant to start here. And as you go through, I'll zoom out a little bit. And as you go through the raid, you know, there's different traits all the way around. So this one starts at mutant, there's a boss this mutant, and then it goes to bio, and then it goes to skill, which is also a load of crap, tech, mystic, and then so on. So this changes depending on which lane you are. They start with a different trait, and then it goes on. But these nodes are just so crazily tuned that even like the highest alliances are struggling to get through this. Now, I don't have any chance in hell, you know, for me and my alliance. I think it's going to be quite some time down the road before we, you know, there's going to have to be a level cap increase. There's going to have to be a retuning of the raid. There's going to need to be all sorts of things before anyone, any real reasonable alliance is going to be able to compete at all to even get into the beginning of this. Because realistically, it's just a load of bullcrap. And so here we have the mutant lane, and this is why they're trying to market the Astonishing X-Men to us, simply for the Doom Raid. Now, where do you get to use them? Well, you get, like, if you're on this lane here, you get 2 nodes. And that's, you know, that's assuming that you pitch in to kill this boss node, and that's it. Now, if you're on any of the other lanes, you know, you get mutants, where is it? The middle one is mutant here, so you get 1, 2, 3 nodes of mutant, assuming you pitched in for the boss node, and same with the other ones, and I think it's, where is it, up? Somewhere up here maybe. So they're trying to market to you guys and everyone else, you know, the Astonishing X-Men for 2 to 3 raid nodes that you're going to do daily. And you know, that's assuming that you can even get through the raid at all. But really, it's just the first 2 nodes here on the right-hand side. Everywhere else is actually near towards the end of the raid. And realistically, most people are not going to make it this far, you know. And I think that these characters are tuned in the back way, way, way too hard, because I've heard, I haven't done it myself, but I've heard from a lot of other people, you know, that even these first nodes, you know, with 120k power level, that they're kind of hitting way, way, way above this. You know, if you look into Ultimate 7.5, you'll see that a lot of the enemies in those raids, you know, have 100k plus power already. You know, the final sort of section, the final few nodes of Ultimate 7.5, you know, are in the 200k power range. So realistically, even though these characters I think are tier 15, they shouldn't be hitting as hard as they do. And frankly, it's just crazy because they're like all sorts of new characters in here, and it really makes for a crazy raid. You know, mutants here, Squirrel Girl, Bishop, Red Guardian. So it's pretty up to date in terms of the characters all the way up until this patch. I'm surprised there's no Jubilee anywhere, really. There's like basically everyone except for Jubilee, including characters from this patch 5.1, like Bishop. This is really bonkers. And so this is where I get to the point where I think that I wouldn't really concern yourself with the Astonishing X-Men. You know, if you are in a top 50, top 100 alliance, you're probably not watching my videos anyways. But for everyone else, I really think that you should really consider whether or not you actually need the Astonishing X-Men and why you want them. You know, because they were marketed specifically for this Doom Raid 1, and I just don't think, even for myself, you know, that I'm not going to be spending a lot of time gearing them up, because I know that I'm miles and miles and miles away from even entering this Doom Raid 1, because frankly, you know, as it sits right now with the raid, it's just way too hard and it's way too tuned upwards. Not to mention that the requirements and the recommendations are 6 red stars, which is not any easy feat. Now, even someone like myself has, you know, like 20 plus. I probably have anywhere from 15 to 26 red stars. No, wait, maybe not even that high. Sorry, that's a lie. I probably have maybe about 10 to 12 6 red stars, and the rest of them maybe I have like 10 or 15 more 5 red stars. But the point is that I maybe have like two parties worth of 6 red star characters or above, and that's about it. So, you know, to really realistically, and it's trait based, and so I'm not even going to bother talking about the difficulty of doing, you know, a set of nodes with mystic characters, with skill characters, which is on this part here. You know, it's frankly absurd, you know, and maybe we don't have all of the right characters available to us right now, but I think it's just crazy the expectations that they have for us right now in the game regarding this game mode. I was really looking forward to patch 5.1 going live, and then when I saw what we were getting, I was super disappointed. I was disappointed by Doom Raid, the fact that it was so heavily tuned, and then I had no chance in hell to even enter this or even engage with it really. And then let's look at the rewards, just for sheer gigs, you know. The tier 1, the 30%, I'm not even gonna look at the other ones, but let's start by the 30% mark. Raid credits, fine. Looks like there's a bit of a boost over Ultimate 7. There's a little bit of a boost on T4s, not a significant one, let me tell you that, because I'm pretty sure I'm getting 8 to 9 T4s already daily on Ultimate 7.3, and then 200 Armory 15 Orb Fragments if you're rank 1 to 2, otherwise it's, you know, a lot lower than that. And even the Orange Gear Radar Fragments isn't really a huge upgrade over what we were getting before in Ultimate 7. Now, you know, at the top, at 100%, even if you're rank 1 to 2, you're only getting half of an Armory 15 Orb Fragment, which is up to 4 G15 minis. So you're essentially getting 2. G15 minis if you 100% this raid and you're rank 1 to 2. That's absurd. You know, the rewards are absurd. There's absolutely no reason, there's no incentive, that's what I meant to say, for us to go for this raid and really try hard. And why it's not even about trying hard, it's about the fact that the requirements for us to clear this at any decent level is just so high. The bar is constantly being raised higher and higher. You know, it feels like that they give us every now and then, they kind of throw us a bone, and then when they throw us a bone, they throw a boulder at us to just knock us out, because that's really how I feel with this Doom Raid 1. This is what I feel that they did with us. And you know, there's just, everyone's sinking. You know, unless you're maybe a top 10 alliance. You know, I heard that they're slowly making headway a little bit. I don't know if they hit the 30% mark, and I'm not expecting it to be easy, but I'm expecting it to be able to make some progress on this. And really, I don't see a lot of ways to do that outside of spending big bucks. And I want to point attention to this raid note here, G3 pay the bills. It actually shows up elsewhere, but this is really funny. Because realistically, and not to mention all the brutal characters that are in this, including 175k Cyclops, Dr. Doom, Ebony Maw, and so forth. But realistically, if you want to clear this boss node, which is requiring skill characters, you're going to need to decide whether or not you pay your own bills or if you pay the bills to Scopely. Because realistically, I don't see a lot of people clearing this raid. I don't know how that they're going to manage, and I just don't understand why this came out as it is. I would love to see Scopely employees do this raid and please show me what characters I need to use realistically to get through this, to even clear a node. And I think that, you know, for a raid, you know, if they had actually, you know, made this a little bit better, maybe they kind of simplified it a little bit, and they had, let's say, 4 lanes, and then they had 2 people for each lane, you know, buddying up, pushing their way through. Maybe that was possible, but because there's 6, there's only realistically 2 people per strike team that's going to be able to help out somewhere, and this is just absolutely absurd. So that's just something that I wanted to talk about there, and that kind of leads me to my closing statement here, is that because that bar is constantly being raised higher and higher in this game, I think that I'm going to have to stop spending. Now, I didn't do a lot of spending, you know, generally in this game before. You know, maybe I would spend about 50 bucks a month. You know, maybe I would buy a character, you know, at least 1 character per patch, but I really don't think that that's going to make any lick of difference in the current state of the game in terms of the bar that's being required for this new content. Now, Dark Dimension 4 aside, you know, that was actually reasonable content. I think that I'll be slowly making headway with that. You know, I don't really need to spend money to make progress in Dark Dimension 4. You know, I could be buying the Battle Pass, I could be buying other things that can kind of get me G15 minis faster, but what's really the point when at the end of the day, Doom War is what comes after Dark Dimension 4? And even if I clear Dark Dimension 4 2 times, I really don't think that I'm going to be making any headway in that raid as things sit. So I'm not really happy with where the game is sitting with regards to where the bar is at for the players. So for that reason, I think that I am going to be limiting or suspending, you know, any spending at all, any purchases. Not that I, like, again, not that I do a whole lot, and I'm not telling you guys to do that either. I'm not advocating necessarily for a spending strike, but I think everyone's going to need to start asking these questions for themselves. Is it worth it? Is the money that I'm spending going to actually make an impact on my gameplay? For me, I really don't think it is, and I don't think that building up the Astonishing X-Men with Jubilee at this point for this patch is really going to make that much of a difference. I'm already clearing what I already clear in Ultima 7. I have zero hopes of Doom Raid. I don't think the Astonishing X-Men is actually going to help me do that because of it's an alliance-based effort for one thing for Doom Raid. So if everyone isn't on the same page, which they probably won't be, you know, unless you're in a Whale or Kraken alliance, then really realistically, there's not a whole lot of reason to build these characters. So that's just how I feel right now. I'm really frustrated with the state of the game, but, you know, I'm obviously going to continue to make content. I'm going to try and be more positive with things and talk about other different aspects of the patch, you know, moving forward. But I really, really wanted to bring this up to you guys, and I kind of wanted to, you know, kind of get a feeling of how you guys feel. So please let me know in the comments down below how you guys feel both about patch 5.1 and the Lunar Festival coming up, and actually thirdly about the Doom Raid and the sink or swim mentality. So more and more I just feel that Scopely is making it harder for us to breathe, and we really need to start considering about what we're doing as a player base, what we're doing individually with our roster, what kind of goals and expectations should we have for this game going forward. So I'm going to leave that for you guys here, and of course, until next time guys, stay safe, and I'll see y'all later. Wayland signing out.